It's here. The moment we've been sensing, the shift we felt approaching like a distant drumbeat, has finally arrived. We are stepping into one of the most decisive, destiny-shaping days of the entire year, August 13th. This isn't simply another square on the calendar, or just another sunrise and sunset. This day carries a frequency, an alignment, a spiritual weight that can quite literally turn the course of your life in a new direction. And here's the part you may not expect. On this day, a divine test will unfold. It won't come in the form of a grand sign flashing in the sky. It won't be announced with a voice booming from the heavens. It will come quietly, in a form that feels disarmingly familiar, through the very person you trust the most. This could be your closest friend, your partner, a family member, someone who has shared in your joys and your sorrows, someone who's walked with you through your storms. And yet, on this day, they may become the very instrument through which God, the universe, or the higher forces test your readiness for the chapter you are about to step into. August 13th is not just about trials. It's about revelations. It's the day when truth, which has been quietly waiting beneath the surface, will rise. Masks will fall. The hidden will become visible. And for those who are spiritually awake, who have been searching for clarity and breakthrough, this could be the exact moment you've been waiting for. Nothing that happens around this day will be random. If you feel emotions flooding your heart, if an old wound you thought you had healed suddenly aches again, if there's a strange tension you can't quite name, know this, it's not chaos. It's heaven moving the pieces into place. The spiritual veil will be thinner than usual on this day. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every reaction you give will carry a ripple effect that shapes your path forward. This is not a day for hiding behind excuses, pretending not to notice, or running from uncomfortable truths. This is the day to stand your awareness and face what comes with an open, steady heart. If you've been feeling lately that situations are accelerating, that people around you are revealing sides of themselves you've never seen before, pay close attention. This is not by chance. It's the lead up to the shift August 13th will bring. This kind of divine test never arrives in the form we imagine. It doesn't storm into your life with lightning and thunder. It walks in through familiar footsteps, through a voice you recognize, through the eyes of someone who knows you well. And that is exactly why it's so difficult. When this energy arrives, it will stir up what has been hidden. It will expose unspoken judgments, long-held resentments, subtle doubts. The person closest to you, the one who has seen you in your highest and lowest moments, will become a mirror reflecting not just your strength, but also the parts of you still in need of healing. They may say something that triggers your anger. They may question you in a way that unsettles your confidence, or they may tempt you to break a promise you've made to yourself. And here's the thing, it's not about them. It's about what rises in you when they act. Will you meet the moment with fear or with faith? With ego or with wisdom? This test is not just here to check your character. It is here to shape it. Heaven is not watching to punish you. It's watching to prepare you. Something greater is on its way, and you cannot step into it still carrying the weight of your old self. Think about how many times you've lived through the same emotional cycle. Different faces, different places, yet somehow the same lesson keeps repeating. That same wound keeps being pressed. That same reaction keeps spilling out of you. August 13th is the opening, the door through which you can finally step out of that loop. But only if you recognize it for what it is. In the days leading up to this date, some of you will notice the energy shifting. Tension may rise in subtle ways. Your dreams may become more vivid and strangely meaningful. People from your past, those you haven't spoken to in years, might suddenly reappear, and conversations may feel charged, almost scripted, as if the words were chosen long before you were born. These are not coincidences. They are breadcrumbs left for you by the divine, guiding you toward the heart of the test. On this day, the person closest to you may unknowingly become the gatekeeper between the life you have known and the life you are destined for. Their words may sting, their choices may unsettle you, or their silence may hurt more than their actions. But you must look deeper. You must see beyond the surface. This is not about betrayal. It's about awakening. It's a divine setup designed not to break you, but to reveal you. Emotions will be magnified on August 13th. A minor disagreement could feel like a deep wound. A passing comment could reopen pain from years ago. And here lies the danger. If you react impulsively, you might slam shut a door that was meant to lead you to your blessing. This is why patience will be your greatest ally. Silence will be your protection. And choosing love, even when frustration boils beneath the surface, will be your ultimate triumph. Think of this as a spiritual earthquake. It will shake the foundations of your inner world, not to destroy what you've built, but to show you where the cracks are. It will expose what has been unstable, what is in need of repair, and what you must finally release if you wish to move forward. And when the dust settles, you will see yourself more clearly than ever before. A stronger, wiser, more aligned version of you will stand where the old one once did. Here's the truth that many won't dare to say aloud. If you fail to see the lesson in front of you, the cycle will not end. Life has a way of repeating itself until you choose differently. The faces may change, the circumstances may shift, but the essence of the challenge remains the same. The same type of person will appear, the same type of misunderstanding will arise, and the same inner conflict will keep knocking at your door until you awaken to the truth and make a new choice. This is why August 13th is not just another date on a calendar. It is an opening, a rare moment when the universe pauses and says, "Here, this is your turning point. Are you ready?" Between now and that day, something very important is being asked of you. Pay close attention to your inner compass, especially when you are with the people closest to you. Notice what your body and spirit feel in their presence. Do you feel lighter, freer, supported? Or do you feel as though something in you is shrinking, being judged, or quietly diminished? These subtle feelings are not random. They are signposts pointing directly toward the area where your divine test will unfold. And when it does happen, when that moment arrives where someone touches a tender part of your heart or challenges you in a way that feels deeply personal, pause. Take a breath. Resist the urge to react from the wound. Instead, answer from the wisdom you've worked so hard to gain. Because the way you handle this moment will decide which door opens next for you. Remember, blessings often wear the disguise of a challenge, and sometimes that challenge comes through the very person you love most. The universe is not trying to punish you. It is trying to elevate you. But first, it must see if you are ready to live in the reality you've been asking for. There is also something deeper about this upcoming test, something rooted in the rhythm of the cosmos. What is unfolding around August 13th is not random. It is ancient. This alignment has been building for years, moving pieces into place, guiding events so that they converge into this exact chapter of your life. You probably felt the weight of certain patterns, the repeated misunderstandings, the emotional loops, the constant delays, and wondered why progress has been so slow or why conversations never seem to resolve fully. This is because Mercury, the messenger of the gods, has been tangled in retrograde shadows. During this time, words have been twisted, meanings distorted, and clarity delayed. Certain truths remained locked away, just out of reach. Timing felt perpetually wrong, as if the universe kept pulling you back just when you were ready to step forward. But just before August 13th, Mercury shifts direct in Leo, and that changes everything. This is not a small adjustment. It's a surge of momentum. Imagine heavy clouds that have been hanging over you finally breaking apart, allowing the warmth of sunlight to touch your skin for the first time in weeks. That's the kind of clarity you will feel. Leo is the sign of a lion, bold, fierce, unapologetically sovereign. There's no secrecy here, no whispering in shadows. When Mercury moves forward through this fire, the truths you've been holding inside will no longer wait for a perfect moment to be spoken. They will push to the surface, demanding to be expressed whether you feel ready or not. This is why the days leading into August 13th carry such intensity. The divine test will likely arrive through the person closest to you, someone who knows exactly where your deepest truths and most vulnerable boundaries lie. And in that moment, your voice will be strong enough to speak, but your heart will need to decide how to use it. They may test your loyalty, challenge your boundaries, or awaken an old hurt so sharply that every part of you wants to react without thinking. That is the heart of the test. Will you fall back into the old self, the one that fights to be right, to defend, to win? Or will you step fully into the new self, the one that knows some battles are won not with force, but with patience, presence, and love? As Mercury turns direct in Leo, old conversations may resurface. People from your past may reappear. Truths that have been buried will rise like echoes from a forgotten time. You might hear words that seem small in sound but heavy in meaning. You might see a look in someone's eyes that stirs something ancient in your memory. None of this will be random. It is all part of the orchestration, preparing you for your defining moment. The tension you feel is not chaos. It's the careful weaving of destiny. It's a moment in the tapestry of your life where everything you've learned, endured, and healed will be put into practice. And yes, Leo's fire will tempt you to roar when you feel cornered. It will pull you toward declarations that cannot be ignored. This fire is a gift. It illuminates the truth. But like all fire, It has two sides. If you let ego take the wheel, you may burn the bridge that was meant to lead you into your next chapter. But if you allow your heart to guide you, that same fire will light a clear, unwavering path toward a reality where you are no longer chained to the old cycles. You'll step into a space where you live, speak, and love from a place of true sovereignty. The sun, ruler of Leo, will flood this period with energy, making every day leading up to August 13th feel cinematic and charged. You'll notice events moving quickly, almost as if time is folding in on itself. Even small encounters will feel loaded with significance. The universe is placing you in the arena, the lights bright, the audience watching, and the outcome unwritten. And here's the truth. Every choice you make now will echo far beyond this week. It will ripple through the months and even years ahead. The test is not here to break you. It's here to reveal you, to show you the strength you've cultivated, the wisdom you've earned, and the light you now carry. August 13th is not just a date. It is the day the universe asks you, are you ready to walk through the next door? There is a rhythm already beating in the background of your life, a pulse you may not fully hear but can certainly feel. Every conversation you have, every emotion that rises unexpectedly, every chance meeting that seems to hold some strange weight, it is all part of a gathering momentum. It is building toward a single day. Not just any day, but one that will stand apart from all the rest. When August 13th arrives, you will not simply wake up to another date on the calendar. You will be standing before a gateway that very few in a lifetime ever truly recognize. A gateway that is not merely open to pass the time, but one that can alter the entire direction of your life. Most will walk through August 13th thinking it was just an ordinary day, unaware that they stood in the presence of something ancient, profound, and irreversible. What many do not realize is that the test waiting for you on that day is not confined to one conversation, one argument, or one decision. This moment is the closing chapter of a cycle that has been looping through your life for years, perhaps even across lifetimes. It is why the air leading up to it feels so charged, why your heart seems to quicken at odd times without explanation, why you sense something coming without knowing its shape. The universe has been turning a great wheel behind the scenes. For a long time, you have heard it spinning faintly, but now that wheel is slowing, each click echoing louder, locking itself into the final notch. That locking moment when the cycle ends is August 13th. This is not a new cycle. This is an old, ancient thread you've been walking along without always recognizing it. You've seen the same emotional traps appear, the same patterns play out, the same kinds of people enter your life wearing different faces, pulling you into the same storms. Every time you believed you had broken free, something or someone appeared to pull you back again. But when this will stops, that gravitational pull will vanish. The cycle will no longer have power over you. The test is designed with precision. It will not arrive from a stranger. A stranger does not have the keys to the deep chambers of your heart. It will not come from an acquaintance who can only skim the surface of your soul. No, the divine chooses the one closest to you because only they can reach the places you've hidden even from yourself. The person you love, the one you trust, the one whose words can lift you or wound you in a way no one else can. That is where the test will come from. It will not be punishment. It will be revelation. Through this person, you will be shown what still lingers unhealed within you, what shadows you must face before you are ready to step into the next chapter of your soul's journey. Ancient teachings have long called moments like this gateways. They are not frequent. They do not remain open for long. But when they do open, they are thresholds between who you have been and who you can become. On August 13th, one such gateway will open. Your physical eyes may not see it, but your spirit will. You will feel it in the heaviness of the air, in the strange sensation that something greater is watching, in the sudden clarity that tells you the choice you make in that moment will ripple forward into the fabric of your fate. Mercury direct in Leo is not just an astrological shift during this time. It becomes your torch in the darkness, your lantern guiding you through the threshold. It will reveal truth with fierce light. It will help you discern who truly walks beside you and who stands in your way, what is meant to grow with you into the future, and what must be released forever. But be cautious. Light is powerful, yet it can also blind those who rush forward without wisdom. Victory will not come from overpowering the moment, but from seeing it with clarity and acting from the deepest truth within you. The end of an ancient cycle is not a slow fade. The instant it closes, another begins. There is no pause, no gentle breath before the new life starts. The person you are on August 13th is the person who will step into that next chapter. This is why you cannot afford to act from your old wounds or to let your past dictate your choices. If you do, Those wounds will follow you forward, and the freedom you've been chasing will remain just out of reach. As the hours draw closer, you may feel restless without understanding why. You may notice repeating numbers, have vivid dreams, encounter people or situations that feel oddly orchestrated. None of these are coincidences, they are signals. Subtle notes from the same divine hand that wrote your soul's blueprint before you were born. When the moment arrives, it will not shout for your attention. It will come with a quiet that is anything but peaceful, the kind of quiet that makes the world feel as though it is holding its breath. You will feel the shift immediately. The way the air seems to still. The way your chest tightens. The way the one closest to you speaks or acts in a way that cuts deep into your being. That is the moment. That is the gateway. That is the test. And in that still, charged space, there will be only one question, spoken not aloud but within your soul. Will you step through with love, or will you be turned back to walk the same old path again? In the days leading up to August 13th, you will see more signs. They may not all be dramatic or grand. Some will be woven quietly into the patterns of your everyday life, almost daring you to notice. This is how the universe works when preparing you for a test of this magnitude. It whispers first. Only later does it roar. You may have a conversation that feels ordinary in the moment but leaves an echo in your thoughts for hours afterward, as if carrying a hidden message meant only for you. The truth is, August 13th is not simply a date. It is a rare meeting point between your past and your future, between the cycles that have bound you and the path that could finally set you free. And whether you realize it or not, every step you take between now and then is bringing you closer to the threshold. There are moments in life when the universe seems to conspire to bring certain people, memories, and emotions back into your path, not by accident, but with divine precision. You may soon find yourself face to face with someone you haven't seen in years, and when it happens, you'll know instantly that this isn't some casual crossing of paths. This is the cycle showing itself one last time before it closes. You'll feel the charge in the air between you, heavy with unspoken words and unexpressed emotions, as if every unfinished chapter is suddenly hovering in the space you share. Your nights may take on a different tone during this period. Dreams will grow sharper, more vivid, and more emotional, sometimes so real that you'll wake up with your heart racing. Some of these dreams may feel unsettling, others strangely beautiful, but they will all carry a weight that's impossible to ignore. You might find yourself waking in the middle of the night with the sense that someone, perhaps a guide, a loved one in spirit, or your own higher self, was trying to speak to you. Pay attention to the symbols, the odd details, the feelings that linger even after you open your eyes. These are not random fragments of the subconscious. They are coded messages meant to prepare you for what's ahead. In the daylight, you may notice your sensitivity to energy intensifying. You'll pick up on the subtlest changes in someone's mood, feel the unspoken tension in a room, or sense a shift in a person's presence before they say a word. The person closest to you, someone you deeply trust, might begin to act differently. They may become distant without explanation, suddenly irritable, or strangely kind in a way that feels unfamiliar. It will be tempting to think they've simply changed, but this is not a random transformation. This is the universe moving both of you into the precise position needed for a test that will decide far more than you realize. That as August 13th draws near, you might notice the way time begins to behave oddly. Events will seem to accelerate, one happening after another, leaving you little space to catch your breath. This isn't chaos, it's the compression of energy, the gathering of spiritual momentum before a breakthrough. Think of it as a bowstring being pulled tighter and tighter before the arrow is released. During this time, you'll also see numbers repeating in ways that catch your attention. 777, 1111, 3333. On clocks, receipts, billboards, even woven into your dreams. These aren't coincidences. They are confirmations from the universe, signs that you are walking directly toward the moment that will define your next chapter. And then the synchronicities will arrive in full force. A song will begin to play at the exact moment you think of a certain person. A stranger's words will echo an answer you've been quietly searching for. A scene will unfold before you that feels eerily staged for your awareness alone. You will feel watched, not in a threatening way, but as if a teacher is silently observing you in the final minutes before handing you the most important exam of your life. Every one of these signs is here not to frighten you, but to prepare you. They are reminders that nothing you're about to face is random, and that you have already been given the tools to meet it. This test is not a trap, and it's not here to break you. It's here to free you from patterns you've outgrown. When August 13th finally arrives, it may not announce itself with drama. The The morning may feel calm, almost ordinary. But at some point in the hours that follow, the air will shift. It could be a conversation, a sudden action, or even just a look that carries a weight you can't ignore. And in that instant, you will know. Your body will register it before your mind does. The world will seem to slow, and it will be only you, the person in front of you, and the decision you make. That choice will not only determine how the moment ends, it will shape the road that lies ahead. This is why it has never been about them. The test is about you, about the self you have been shaping through every lesson, every loss, every piece of wisdom you've gathered along the way. August 13th is not the end of your story. It is the closing of a chapter you've been lingering in for far too long, and the first step into something entirely new. And once you walk through that threshold, you will not return to the life you knew before. From now until that day, every moment is pulling you toward a single point in time where everything will converge. The conversations you've had, the emotions you've struggled with, the strange encounters and restless nights, they have all been weaving you toward this. It's not far in the distance anymore. It's here, right in front of you, humming beneath the surface of your everyday life. You can feel it in the way the air seems denser, in the way small details suddenly stand out, in the way old memories and unresolved feelings rise to the surface. Even your reflection might feel different, as though it's asking questions you've been avoiding. This is the deep inhale before the exhale that changes everything. The patterns you've been living are now showing themselves with unmistakable clarity. They are no longer whispers in the background. They are standing in front of you, waiting for your response. The person closest to you is part of this final unveiling, their reactions mirroring the very lessons you are meant to face. And when a moment comes, you will understand why it had to happen this way. You will see how the universe arranged every detail, not to test your strength, but to reveal it. You'll realize that the choice you make is not just about a relationship, a situation, or a single day. It is about the person you are becoming and the life that will unfold because you dared to choose differently this time. It often begins quietly, in ways so subtle that you almost overlook them. The way certain people seem to awaken emotions in you that you thought were long settled. The way their presence stirs something deep inside, pulling to the surface feelings you believed you had already mastered. It is as if life has drawn a great circle around you and is gradually pulling it tighter, guiding you to a single truth that can no longer be pushed aside. Time itself may start to feel unusual. Some days may vanish in a heartbeat, while others stretch endlessly, as though hours are expanding just to hold all the weight of what they carry. This isn't random. It is the rhythm of alignment, the invisible push and pull of cosmic forces shaping the stage for a moment that will define you. The test will not come with fanfare or warning. It will arrive in the middle of something ordinary, so ordinary that you might miss it unless you are awake to the undercurrent. But when it happens, you will know. The tone in someone's voice, the weight of a silence between words, the way your heartbeat suddenly grows louder in your own ears. Something will shift in the air, in you, and in the space around you. It will feel as though the world itself pauses, holding its breath to witness what you will choose. That moment will not be random. It is the culmination of countless days, countless choices, and countless ways you have been prepared without even realizing it. These days you are living now matter more than you think. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every way you respond to the smallest events is shaping the outcome of a moment that already exists somewhere ahead of you. The universe has been patient with you. It has sent whispers, signs, gentle nudges, and sometimes even storms to steer you toward this exact crossing point. You have wandered, stumbled, grown, and been tested in small ways until the wandering became walking, and the walking became a path. Now that path is narrowing, sharpening its focus, leading to a single doorway that opens only once. You will not see that door with your eyes, yet every fiber of your being will recognize it. The air will feel different, charged with a strange electricity that makes your skin tingle and your breath slow. The sounds around you will seem muted, as if the world has stepped back to make room for what is about to unfold. And in that stillness, you will feel a weight, not the heaviness of burden, but the deep, undeniable awareness that you have arrived at a turning point from which there is no returning unchanged. Before you will stand a person who knows you, not just your strengths, but your weaknesses, your habits, your patterns, the small cracks in your armor. They will not be an enemy, though the challenge they bring may feel like a battle. They are the final mirror, and through them something ancient inside you will be summoned to the surface. It might be sparked by a single question that cuts deeper than it appears, a glance that says more than any sentence could, or a moment of silence that presses against you until you cannot ignore it. In that moment, all the layers you have built to protect yourself will feel tested. You will be called, without a single spoken word, to decide who you truly are now. And here lies the temptation to slip back into the old self, the familiar ways of reacting, defending, and guarding your heart. Those patterns will call to you like an old, comfortable coat you once wore daily, even though it no longer fits. But this is not a moment for comfort. This is a moment for transformation. The door will not open through force, argument, or the need to win. It will open through stillness, through the strength of standing in your truth without diminishing anyone else. This person before you is not here to harm you, but to help you shed the final chain that has kept you from stepping fully into the life waiting on the other side. When you choose differently this time, when you feel that subtle inner click, that shift deep in the unseen, you will know. The heaviness in the air will lift, and even the light around you will seem sharper, brighter, as though the world itself is acknowledging your step forward. But understand this, the door will not wait forever. If you hesitate, if you turn away, the moment will fade quietly, retreating back into the hidden places where such opportunities sleep until the soul is ready again. That is why awareness is everything now. To see the door is to have the power to step through it. In the days leading up to that moment, life will give you small rehearsals, opportunities to respond in new ways, to hold your peace when provoked, to choose your words carefully when emotions run high. These are not coincidences. They are the final polishing of the key before you stand before the lock. And when you are there, when your heart races, your thoughts whirl, and you sense with every part of you that something beyond the ordinary is unfolding, remember that this is the point where destiny shifts. There is no weakness in pausing before you act, no harm in breathing before you speak. What matters is that the choice you make belongs to the person you are becoming, not the one you are leaving behind. Because once you step through, the other side will not be the same world you left behind. It will be clearer, lighter, freer. And most of all, it will be yours. When you step through that unseen threshold, the world on the other side will not look entirely different, yet it will feel as though everything has shifted. The air will seem lighter, as if it has been quietly waiting to welcome you. The streets may still stretch in familiar lines, the faces you pass may remain the same, and the daily routines of life may appear unchanged. But you will have changed, and that will transform the way you experience everything around you. The noise that once filled your mind, the constant distractions, the small irritations, the voices that once had the power to shake your focus will now fade into the background, losing their grip on your attention. The invisible weight that sat heavy in your chest for years, perhaps so long that you stopped noticing it, will suddenly feel gone. There will be a lightness in your step, a quiet in your mind, and an openness in your heart that feels entirely new. Colors will appear sharper, almost as if the world itself has been polished. You will hear the sound of voices differently, noticing warmth or tension in ways you never could before. Details you once overlooked will draw your attention, the way sunlight slides through the cracks of a window, the unhurried rhythm of your own breathing, the subtle expressions that play across the faces of strangers and loved ones alike. Life will seem to slow down just enough for you to truly see it, to drink it in as though it's the first time you've been awake. The way you move through the world will shift. Choices will flow from you with more clarity, not because life has suddenly become simple, but because your inner foundation will be steady. That constant questioning, am I doing the right thing? Should I have said that? What if I fail? Will quiet down. In its place will rise an unspoken trust in yourself, a deep knowing that whatever comes, you will meet it. Your relationships will reflect this change. Some connections will deepen, finding new layers of trust, understanding, and authenticity now that you are no longer bound by the same old fears. Others will drift away naturally, as if carried off by the wind. You won't push them away. They will simply no longer fit into the life you are growing into. There will be no bitterness in this letting go. Just the same peaceful inevitability as leaves falling in autumn, making space for what is meant to grow next, and opportunities, those things you used to chase, will now begin to find you. Instead of knocking endlessly on locked doors, you will find yourself standing before ones that swing open with little effort. You will arrive at the right place, at the right time, hearing exactly the words you needed, meeting exactly the people your path required. What used to feel like a series of lucky breaks will now feel like stepping stones deliberately placed for you. A path woven with purpose that you are finally able to see. But perhaps the greatest change will be the peace you carry within you. Not the fragile kind that shatters the moment something goes wrong, but the unshakable kind that stays steady no matter how the world shifts around you. This is the gift that comes from walking through the test, from proving to yourself that you can meet challenge without losing yourself. The person who stood before the doorway, the one who hesitated, who doubted, who carried old pain and old fears, will begin to feel like someone you once knew a long time ago. You will remember them, but you will not wish for their return. Every step forward will remind you why they had to remain behind. And this is why this moment matters. This is why life has prepared you so carefully, sometimes painfully, and placed you exactly where you are right now. Because the doorway before you is not just an entry into another chapter of your story, it is the threshold to the truest version of yourself, the one your soul has been waiting to meet. The first thing you'll notice beyond this threshold will be the signs. Not just numbers repeating on a clock, not just patterns in clouds, but deeply personal messages, symbols that speak directly to the quietest parts of your heart. You may see a bird you haven't spotted in years, landing in your path as if it came to remind you of something you once knew. A phrase from an old book, long forgotten, might appear on a passing sign or in a conversation you overhear. A song may begin to play, and with its first notes you'll realize it is exactly what your spirit needed in that exact moment. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. It will feel as though the universe itself is speaking in a private language only you can understand, assuring you that every step you take is aligned with where you are meant to go. And the more you notice them, the more they will appear, not because the world has suddenly become more magical, but because you have tuned yourself to its quiet frequencies. This is alignment. This is what it means for the world to respond to the energy you now carry. You will not be chasing signs, they will find you. And each one will be a gentle reminder that you are exactly where you are meant to be, walking the path your soul has been waiting for all along. You'll begin to notice reflections of yourself everywhere, not just in the silver surface of a mirror, but in the fleeting glances of strangers, in the quiet expressions of those you love, and in the subtle ways life moves around you. Every interaction will feel like a message, every person a mirror showing you something you didn't realize you had already reclaimed within yourself. A gentle kindness will appear in your actions without you forcing it. A moment of unshakable courage will rise in you when you least expect it. You will make a choice that once would have been weighed down by hesitation or fear, yet this time it will feel light, as if a decision had already been made deep within your soul. Each of these moments will be fragments, pieces of the truest version of you, coming together. You may not notice the full picture at first, but you will feel its quiet power growing. And in the stillness, visions may begin to appear. They won't arrive as grand, blinding revelations meant to overwhelm you. Instead, they will come like the soft glimmer of sunlight breaking through the clouds, subtle flashes, fleeting images of places your feet have never touched but your spirit somehow remembers. You will see glimpses of a life that feels both unfamiliar and yet as natural as breathing. They are not far-off dreams. They are the next steps you are already walking toward. Even your struggles will begin to carry a different weight. The storms in your life will not suddenly disappear, but they will no longer shake you in the same way. You'll stand in the rain and realize you are not scrambling for shelter. You are standing firm, feeling the water soak into your skin without fear. The lightning will flash, and instead of bracing yourself, you will feel awe at its brilliance, its wild and untamed beauty. This will be your sign, not that the world has become gentler, but that you have become stronger, deeper, and more grounded in who you are. The person closest to you, the one who seemed to be the key figure in your final test, will also shift in your eyes. Whether they remain in your life or walk away, you will no longer see them as an obstacle blocking your path. You will recognize them instead as the one, perhaps knowingly, perhaps without even realizing it, who turned the final key that opened your door. They will become a marker in your memory, the living signpost of the threshold you crossed, and here lies the deeper truth. The doorway is not simply the entrance to another chapter in your life. It is the moment you fully understand that the universe was never against you. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every delay you thought was holding you back was actually pulling you forward, threading you into the exact shape and strength you needed to step through this passage. All of it, the pain, the confusion, the waiting, was a sacred design leading you here. When you step through, you will feel the quiet pull of something greater than yourself. You will understand that this is not the end of your journey, but the real beginning, the journey you were born to take. The path will not lay itself bare in one clear view. The unknown will remain, but it will no longer be something you fear. You will welcome it, because now you know that even when you cannot see the next step, it is still carrying you exactly where you are meant to go. The signs will continue to arrive. The visions will keep unfolding, offering you gentle nudges and reminders. The doorway will remain behind you, not as something you can return to, but as a sacred marker of the day you stopped walking in circles and began truly moving forward. Every step from now on will be part of the approach, even if the threshold is not yet physically before you. The moments that unsettle you, the emotions that rise without warning, the words that stay with you long after they are spoken, each of these is part of the path leading to that singular moment. August 13th is not a date to dread. It is a meeting point, a sacred threshold that asks only for your presence and your truth. The test you face will not be about overpowering another person. It will be about mastering yourself when it matters most. The stage is already set. The signs are already whispering their meaning to you. And when the stillness falls, when the air around you feels thick and charged, when your heart knows with unshakable certainty that the moment has arrived, you will need to remember just one thing. This is the reason for all of it. This is why you were prepared. Step forward with the truth burning steady in your heart, and the door will open wide. Step forward with fear, and it will vanish before you like smoke. The choice will be yours alone, and its echo will ripple through the rest of your life, shaping every chapter still to come.